Rediscovering Gita for the Modern World by Shrikant Soman. Based on Essays on Gita by Sri Aurobindo. Chapter 8 continued. Sankhya and Yoga. Continued from the previous episode 66. The Intertwined Paths, How the Gita Unites Sankhya and Yoga. Current episode 67. Prakriti's Evolution, the Sankhya View of Cosmic Manifestation. The Sankhya System from Subtle Elements to Conscious Delusion. The Mechanics of Existence, a deeper look into Sankhya's principles. Key takeaways: the origin of existence. Sankhya philosophy explains the evolution of the world from the unmanifest, inconscient Prakriti and its three Gunas, Sattva, Rajas, Tamas, into the five subtle elemental conditions, Panchmahabhuta, and the five subtle sense properties, dhwani, sparsha, rupa, rasa, gandha. Subjective and objective principles. The cosmic existence is divided into objective, elements and sense properties, and subjective principles. The subjective aspect includes Buddhi, intelligence, will, Ahankara, ego sense, manas mind, and 10 sense functions, 5 for knowledge, 5 for action. The delusion of consciousness, a core tenet of Sankhya, is that faculties like intelligence and will are mechanical and unconscious. The role of Purusha. The Purusha is a passive observer or witness, Sakshi, who by consenting to reflect Prakriti's activities becomes deluded. One Prakriti, many Purushas. Sankhya explains the diversity of individual experiences and perspectives by postulating the existence of many Purushas, conscious beings, witnessing the actions of a single Prakriti, universal energy, thereby explaining the phenomenon of separate consciousnesses. Prakriti in the evolution of the world bases herself with her three Gunas. They are the original substance of things which are unmanifest and inconscient. Out of them are successively evolved five elemental conditions, bhuta of energy or matter. Matter and force are the same in the Sankhya philosophy. These are called by the names of the five concrete elements of ancient thought. They are ether, air, fire, water and earth, Panchmahabhuta, Akash, Vayu, Agni, Jal, Prithvi. Here we should remember that we must not make the mistake of equating these elements with the modern scientific understanding associated with these names. They are in fact the subtle conditions of material energy. They are nowhere to be found in their purity in the gross material world. All objects are created by the combination of these five subtle conditions or elements. Each of these five elements is in turn the base of one of five subtle properties of energy or matter. They are sound, touch, form, taste and smell, dhwani, sparsha, rupa, rasa, gandha. They constitute the way in which the mind sense perceives objects. Thus, by the combination of these five elements of matter, put forth from the primary energy, and also these five sense relations through which matter is known, is evolved the objective aspect of cosmic existence. There are 13 other principles which constitute the subjective aspect of the cosmic energy. These are the three principles of Buddhi or Mahat, Ahankara, and Manas. And 10 sense functions. The 10 sense functions are of two parts, 5 of knowledge and 5 of action. Manas, mind, is the original sense which perceives all objects. It reacts upon them. It has at once an inferent and an efferent activity. It receives by perception what the Gita calls the outward touches of things, bahya sparsha. Thus it forms the idea of the world and exercises its reactions of active vitality. Mind manas specializes its most ordinary functions of reception by aid of the five perceptive senses of hearing, touch, sight, taste and smell. They are the inferent aspects. These five perceptive senses have their counterparts in the corresponding five objective phenomena of speech, locomotion, the seizing of things, ejection and generation. They are the efferent aspects. Buddhi is the discriminating principle. It is at once intelligence and will. It is that power in nature which discriminates and coordinates. Ahankara, the ego sense, is the subjective principle in Buddhi. By Ahankara, the Purusha is induced to identify himself with Prakriti and her activities. Interestingly, these subjective principles are themselves very much mechanical and a part of the inconscient energy. It is the same with the objective operations of Prakriti. At first thought, it is difficult for us to grasp the idea that the faculty of intelligence and will are in their essence mechanical, inconscient, and themselves mechanical jada. Here we should remember that the modern science itself has been driven to the same conclusion. Even in the mechanical action of the atom, there is a power which is nothing else but an inconscient will. In all the works of nature, that pervading will does inconsciently the works of intelligence. What we call mental intelligence is precisely the same thing in its essence. It discriminates and coordinates subconsciously in all the activities of the material universe. Modern science has also demonstrated that conscious mind itself is only a result and transcript of the mechanical action of the inconscient. Sankhya explains what the modern science leaves in obscurity. It explains the process by which the mechanical and inconscient takes on the appearance of consciousness. Sankhya explains that this happens because of the reflection of Prakriti in Purusha. The light of consciousness of the soul is attributed to the workings of the mechanical energy. The Purusha, while observing Prakriti, nature as the witness, becomes, so to say, forgetful of himself. He is deluded with the idea which actually generated in the Prakriti, that it is he who thinks, feels, wills, acts, while all the while it is Prakriti with the aid of her three modes of nature, three Gunas, who is in reality doing the function of thinking, feeling, willing, acting, etc. As a first step towards the liberation of the soul from nature and her works, one must get rid of this delusion. Sankhya has not explained plenty of things in our existence. In many cases, Sankhya has not explained them satisfactorily. However, if we have a limited objective of the liberation of the soul from the obsession of cosmic nature, then the Sankhya theory offers some plausible explanations like many others. Sankhya explanation of the world and the Sankhya way of liberation seems as good and as effective as any other. If all we need is a rational explanation of the cosmic processes and their principles, then Sankhya will be of help. These are the basis for the great object of liberation of soul. This has also been a common obsession of the ancient philosophies. The question should then naturally arise is that, why the Sankhya should bring in element pluralism into its dualism? It affirms one Prakriti but many Purushas. It would seem that the existence of one Prakriti and one Purusha should be sufficient to account for the creation and procession of the universe. However, Sankhya was bound to evolve pluralism by its rigidly analytical observation of the principles of things. We observe that there are many conscious beings in the world. Each being regards the same world in his own way. He has his independent experience of its subjective and objective things. He has his independent experience of his separate dealings with the same perceptive and reactive processes. If there were only one Purusha, then there would not be this central independence and separativeness. All would then see the world in an identical fashion, and with a common subjectivity and objectivity. Because Prakriti is one, all witness the same world. Because her principles are everywhere the same, the general principles which constitute internal and external experience are the same for all. However, in contrast, in actuality, we witness the infinite difference of view and outlook and attitude. We witness infinite variation of action and experience and escape from experience. There is no difference in the natural operations Prakriti, as they are all the same everywhere. There are differences of the witnessing consciousness. This phenomenon is utterly inexplicable unless we suppose that there is a multiplicity of witnesses, that is, Purushas. Thus we observe one Prakriti and many Purushas.